Good morning and welcome to The Point. It is Wednesday, April 6, 2022. Thank you to those of you joining us on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11 and 20. Good morning to all the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9. This is Blossom. That's right. Good morning, everybody. I am here to host To The Point this morning, which will be for the next foreseeable Wednesdays. I will be in the chair facilitating the program. That's until, let's put it as until further notice. Good morning to each and every one of you, and thank you for tuning in to Classic. Thank you for tuning into To The Point. It is Wednesday, which means it is the day we usually facilitate members of or representatives of the government or statutory bodies. This morning, I was expecting the Attorney General, Dia Forrester. I have not seen her on the Zoom as yet, so we are going to open the phone lines in the meantime. This morning, the topic was expected, of course, the removal of the COVID-19 restrictions that have been in place for the past 2 years to curb the spread of COVID-19, effective Monday. Effective Monday. Those restrictions have been lifted. So I want to hear your thoughts this morning. That's what the discussion was supposed to be. So we're going to keep to that topic. Again, we are going to keep to that topic, the lifting of the restrictions that were in place for the last 2 years to curb the spread of COVID-19. What are your thoughts on its lifting? That means there are no more travel restrictions. There's no longer a mandate in place. It's optional going forward. So share your thoughts with us. The landline number 435-2041. The WhatsApp number is also 435-2041. Please actually no, I think we can facilitate voice notes on the WhatsApp these days. So feel free to send your WhatsApp voice notes as well as your written messages on WhatsApp. And you can also share your thoughts on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page and the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, or GBN Production YouTube channel. I have to double check to see which one is up and running with the program this morning. But in the meantime, let's open the phone lines. 435-2041 this morning. The topic, the lifting of the restrictions that have been in place for the past 2 years to curb the spread of COVID-19. What are your thoughts on the lifting? There's no longer a mask mandate. It is optional going forward. Visitors or returning nationals, you no longer have to quarantine. You no longer have to do COVID-19 tests. I'm trying to recall if you still need to bring in negative or positive test results. I can't remember off the top of my head. You see, Miss Forrester was supposed to clarify this morning. But nevertheless, let's go to the landline. We have a first caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning to you, Blossom.
Good morning, and how are you?
Long time I haven't heard your voice on the morning program.
I know, right? It's been a while, but I'm here this morning.
Okay. Now, I tend to have mixed ideas over the lifting of the total restrictions and everything. While I accept that we were sort of burned down, and personally I don't like the mask in face, but I think some of the restrictions coming out a little bit too quick and too rapid. There could be, I went in government office, the ministry, and you can't enter the ministry or any government office without your mask. They still restrict that, and I support that to an extent. So there should be a better understanding, because it's a hazardous thing that is done there now. Because some places you go, and the people may tell you, okay, you cannot enter without a mask. So people should have a basic idea as to where they could go without a mask and where they cannot go. Like walking in the street, okay. But going into certain institutes and certain government offices, you will have to wear the mask. And lots of people who don't know will want to go into government office and only to get turned off. So I think there should be a little bit more control on that, right? Even the grouping up. Well, we know Carnival is in the air, so people, it's hard to really control the grouping of people and whatnot. But I think some more caution should be given. While I accept the easing up, but some more caution should be given. And people should control themselves, because it is like a hazardous thing now to people. and people just get on. Some people just get on. And I don't think is because when we listen to the news, we hear in other countries, they are still locked down and thousands of people. So at any time we could have a sudden, for example, people that have the face mask, they might just throw away all their face masks and only to realize that if you need your face mask, just now again. I know we can't run the economy without opening, so I'm accepting that. But I think some more precaution should be given, because I'm afraid that we're going to be less difficult.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that contribution. Well, actually, it was this morning, shortly before I came into the studio, I went to the ministerial complex and I was not wearing my mask. I was in a hurry. So I was not wearing my mask and they let me in. So I guess maybe some government-run offices. In terms of the privately owned businesses, it is up to the proprietor, the owners, operators, managers, to decide, if we still want to keep the mask requirement in place. It's privately owned. You can't tell them how to run their business. So if Blossom's Bar still requires mask, you'll have to wear your mask. Government offices, and so I guess it depends on which one you go into. I just say better safe than sorry. Have it in your pocket just in case, or have it under your chin, which is what most of you do anyway, just in case you may need it going into a building, office, company, restaurant, just in case. There's always a saying, better you have it and don't need it than you don't have it and need it. So, better safe than sorry and walk with your mask. I'll still be wearing my mask. I went into a place Monday, and one of the attendants said, you don't need your mask. I said, I don't need it, but I want to wear it. So it's always optional. I'll still be wearing it. Or if all you see me in public with my mask, don't be alarmed. Blossom is just out of habit too, but Blossom is just staying safe. Somebody on Facebook says, happy that the restrictions have been lifted, but people still have to be careful. I will be wearing my mask in crowded areas. Folks just have to be responsible. Just my humble opinion. Good morning, Andrea. Nice to see you. Good morning, caller. Thank you for calling the program.
Good morning, Blossom.
Good morning, and how are you?
It's such a breath of fresh air and seeing you this morning, actually.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
I miss you so much.
Happy to be here.
Okay. Blossom, it's nice to see what is happening, actually. I'm glad that most of the restrictions have been lifted. However, don't you think, well, it is my opinion, actually, that seeing that there are countries where the virus is still raging, like the United States and Russia and other places like, not Russia, but China and so forth, that certain restrictions should still be in place for people or visitors coming from those areas. I mean, because the possibility remains that, visitors or people coming from those areas could still come in with the virus and actually we can actually be infected. So I think certain restrictions should be kept. I don't know what's your opinion on that.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Thank you very much, caller.
Have a good day.
You do the same.
Bye.
I agree with you, especially when it comes to returning nationals. Not discriminating or anything like that. It's just the way the thing is going outside. Y'all know my favorite word. Dinkoconias on the outside. China is testing 2.6 million people, I believe it is, in just one city, one town. So you never know what's happening. So there are some things I believe that should be in place, but I think it will go back to everybody taking personal responsibility, because you don't know who just came in, where they came from, what they came with. Just take care of yourself. I guess that's the best we can do under the circumstances with the lifting of the restrictions. So if the requirements are not in place, put the requirements for ourselves. But I agree with you, caller. Some things should be kept. Back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Ms. Blossom. I agree with you too, because why have your mask in your pocket. Before I start, are you getting a feedback?
Not really, just a little echo, but it's workable.
All right, well, let all the radio a little bit.
No problem.
Yes.
In the meantime, let me read this comment from one of our Facebookers. Somebody on Facebook says, I am coming home. I don't need all this drama. Very happy. And that's a feedback I've been hearing a lot from our folks in the diaspora, that they don't have to quarantine and get tests and so on and so forth. So a lot of our returning nationals are happy. Mr. Bado, you there?
Yes, I feel it.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is that, have your mask in your pocket, because what really happens, you might go into some serious business and you don't have your mask and they will turn you down. When I say turn down, the security, and then there's nothing you could do about that. And sometimes you don't have the money to go in the store and buy a mask. And sometimes if you have the money, when you go, they don't have the mask. So then take the prevention first and then have your mask in your pocket when you're going and do serious business. Because if they turn you down and you have to go back again, you never know what could happen. So anyway, nice to hearing you back, Miss Blossom, and then after another word from you in place of Miss J.C. Joseph Kado, then back to the next caller on there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bidu. Have a good one.
Thank you very much, too.
All right. Good morning to all the folks on the Sister Isles of Carriacou and P.T. Martinique. Bless up your selves. So walk with your mask, and which reminds me that I feel like I need to say this. You all know sometimes we like to wrong and strong. So we would hear that the mask mandate is no longer in place, and we may try to enter a building and secure. Our manager might say, no, you need your mask still. And we'll start again on, nah, they say we don't have to wear mask. Why are you telling me? I don't want to put on no mask. I want to come inside here. The Prime Minister said I don't have to wear no mask. What are you telling me? It's optional, one. And two, especially if it's a private company, a private organization, a private operation, abide by the people rules. Abide by the people rules. Even if it's a government building and they say, put it on. Just chill. Sometimes you just have to chill. It's for your own good. It's for the staff, whatever the reasoning that they still have it in place. Just abide. No need to hype up and quarrel and start getting on with our bold Grenadian selves. Just chill and relax all yourself. All right, let me see if there are comments on the WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, I work at a hotel. We have been asked by staff to continue with the protocols, but not for the guests. I think it should be followed by all because we, the staff, are at greater risk. That's something I've also seen. Employers or employers have asked their employees to continue wearing their masks. Even in the complex, the young lady at the front desk was wearing her mask. Some employers are asking their employees to keep the protocols, but they're not doing the same for the guests, which is a bit confusing to me, but I guess it's your own company, and if that's what you want, it's your prerogative, but it just seems inconsistent to me. I like consistency in my life. If you want me to wear my mask as the employee, the guest should do the same. But do what you want to do with your company. Somebody on Facebook says, numbers are ticking back up here in the U.S. Please be safe to all the folks in the United States. Another Facebooker says, it's called the new normal. Would you walk into a hardware store or shop, etc., half naked? We major in minor issues. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Not too bad.
All right, go right ahead.
The fact of the matter is the guest that is bringing the disease to us. So the guests should have on the mask as well as the employees. It's the guests that bring in the disease into the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. I agree to an extent. Granted, though, that there are those walking among us with the virus as well. So it's not just the guests, because just when the last dashboard I saw just recently, we got, I think it was 50-something active cases. Today's Wednesday, so that was maybe Monday or last Friday. And that's known cases. So it's not just the guests bringing it in. We also have it roaming among us. Some unknown, some known. Know that we don't have to quarantine. I could have it and still, be out in the streets, living my best life. So, it's not just the guests. But yes, there are people who are coming in with the virus. So we just need to be on our P's and Q's and take precautionary measures. Somebody on Facebook says, mental slavery will continue for a while here. Mask wearing has become a stigma. I better save that. Sorry. So it's a habit for a lot of people. Another Facebooker, just as I always use sanitizer and kept my distance, I now add the mask to my dress code. Color coordinate your mask and your outfit. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm all right. How you do?
I'm great.
Yes.
Go
I
right
would
ahead.
say the same thing too. Wear your mask everywhere you go in. You protect yourself because you never know. Because there was a time they said that we didn't have the virus here. And after a while, we just got a outbreak. When people come in, it's somebody coming up from our way that bringing it. We don't have it. We didn't have it around us. Somebody coming in that brought it. So we need to protect ourselves. We need to protect ourselves. Do the same protocol. Wash our hands and wear our mask. That is what I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. I agree. Protect ourselves and wear your masks. You are only responsible for yourself. And of course, the children among us. But you're only responsible for yourself. So do what you need to do to stay safe. The mantra continues. Do what you need to do to stay safe. Let me go to a WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, good morning. No issues with the dropped protocol. However, as a responsible nation, we should at least ask for antigen tests on entry. No quarantine? Okay. Why all departing persons still have rapid antigen test done? Well, for the departing people, it's because it's possible that the countries they are going to, as well as the airlines that they are traveling with, still require the test result, the negative test result, before you can travel on my plane or to my country. That's why the removal of the protocols are just for Grenada. Once you're leaving the country you're going to, you have to keep in mind the protocols that they may have in place or not have in place. And some of the airlines, if not all of the airlines, still require negative tests, mask wearing, and all the like. I do not recall hearing of airlines lifting their restrictions. If they have, I haven't heard of it. All right? So that's why you still need to get your test done to exit. And I believe you still need, that's personal opinion, you need it to enter my country too, because we have flights coming in from some of the countries where it is rampant. Look, somebody pointed out this morning, 2 people, that is rampant in the U.S. China is also going through it. There are other countries, I'm trying to remember the country I saw yesterday that was having a tough time as well. And we have international flights at the airport daily. Before we go to the break, let me go back by Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, every business controls whatever they want. If they want you to wear your mask, you have to. The government does not have to tell you they're not wearing it anyway. Oh, the government does not have to tell you they're not wearing it anyway. I got you. Another Facebooker. Somebody on Facebook says, in reply to the comment about wearing a mask became a stigma. Somebody says, a stigma? Really? Not in my neck of the woods. Let me take this caller before we go to the break. Good morning, caller. Good loss. That was my bad. Let's try this again. Good morning, caller.
Hey, Blossom.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Well, child, welcome back to that program.
Thank you very much. Happy
Just
to be here.
you're passing by.
I'm passing by on Wednesdays for now.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Is it the program is related to the protocols only, or?
Yes, protocols only.
Oh, that's what we're talking about today?
Yes.
Oh, I wanted to talk about God, but if you can't talk about God, then
maybe on the next open line.
Yeah, but people need. You see, this is not this continuous thing that's going on around the world, and we take off the protocols here. What I believe, this is an opportunity to trust the Lord more, to protect you, because we can't really protect ourselves, It's God's mercy and grace that protects us. But some of us, we don't believe it and we don't know it. But God's mercy and grace is protecting us. So if people are scared, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean on your own understanding. He said, in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, Ms. Jeremiah. You have yourself an enjoyable one as well. All right, let's take a very quick break, but let me echo what Ms. Jeremiah said. Trust in the Lord. Let's take a quick break and then we're going to come back with more. This is To The Point on Classic and GBN. We'll be right back.
The ultimate rivalry among secondary schools has returned. It's the Republic Bank Inter-Secondary Schools Championship, Intercall, April 7th at the Karani James Athletic Stadium. One day, 46 events. Many will come, many will triumph. Be part of this momentous occasion for glory, for honor, for the rights to be crowned Intercall Champions 2022. Remember the date, April 7th. This one promises to be epic.
Historian, archivist, author, former Peace Corps volunteer, and lots more. It's the John Angus Martin story on Tristan Grenadians. This Wednesday, 6th April at 8 p.m. on GBN TV and social media platforms. Join us.
Raise it high up the ladder.
Scholar, me and a man talking there. The man tell me, you have a boom box that give him real stress and you know what to do. So I asked the man, I said, why that boom box? The man started laugh at me and the man go to tell me, but you and Scholar and them on week culture every Friday night and you know it's a boom box. He said, man, give me a chance, I ain't talking to you again, man. So I don't know what the man talking about. You know it's a boom box, boy?
So God, you don't know what is a boom box? You asking me if I know what is a boom box? Of course I know what is a boom box. God, you have to stop that. Well, if you don't know what is a boom box, then you don't know what is a Remy. Anyway, you see this Friday on We Culture, I will tell you what is a boom box and what is a Remy.
Welcome back to The Point. For those of you just tuning in, first of all, it is 25 and a half minutes after 9 o'clock. For those of you just tuning in, I was expecting Attorney General Dia Forrester as my guest this morning, but she has not signed into the Zoom. So we have opened the phone lines to hear from our viewers and listeners your thoughts on what this morning's topic was supposed to be, the lifting of the restrictions that have been in place for the past 2 years to curb the spread of COVID-19. So I want you to share your thoughts with us. What are your thoughts that we've lifted the restrictions? Mask mandate is no longer in place. You do not have to quarantine or get tested, I believe, when you're coming into the country. You still have to be sanitized on your way into businesses and operations, but you don't have to wear your mask. What are your thoughts on the lifting of the restrictions? There was something else I needed to tell you before I go back to the comments. Right. On Wednesdays, for those of you wondering why Blossom was only in the chair on Wednesdays, starting today, the GBN is starting a new live program on GBN TV, 8:30 a.m., facilitated by our usual host, JC, Joseph Kador. We are starting the election discussion, and the program starts tonight, 8:30 p.m. So Joseph needs to prepare for that program, which is why he needs to get his mind right and mentally preparate, which is why I am in the chair for To The Point. So tonight his guests will be Akeem, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, and Cassandra Mitchell. We're starting with the young people. We want to get the discussion going as we, get into the election mode and election campaigning and election vibes, the thing ripe in the air. Elections are constitutionally due next year, God willing. So the GBN is starting the discussions. We want to speak with not just the politicians, but the other players, political activists, the young people. What are you looking for? We want to speak with religious individuals. Different people will be guests on the program, which starts tonight, 8:30 p.m. live, hosted by the one and only Joseph Kador. So be sure to tune into GBN TV and our social media platforms tonight for the first in the series, or the weekly series. I'm trying to remember the name. It was Election Watch, but Joseph did what he wanted and changed the name of the program. I know I can't remember what the official name is going forward. When I remember, I would tell you. Either way, it starts 8:30 p.m. tonight. All right. So let's go back to the topic. What are your thoughts on the lifting of the COVID-19 restrictions that have been in place for the past 2 years? Back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sunrise.
I like it. Good morning. How you do?
I'm good. That here is like the sunrise.
Oh, telling me.
The colors reflecting the sunrise.
Thanks.
I would have a good day, Blossom.
I'm good.
And I hope my trees blossom so I can have fruits.
I hope so too.
Blossom, personally, I believe the removal of this mask mandate and the end of the Emergency Powers Act is another, and that is my opinion, another election gimmick, because we have to meet in the crowd, we have to have the rallies, but let us as citizens be mindful that there are a lot of people out there that have COVID and they are not going to the doctor, they stay home and use bush and so forth. So we have to be responsible, continue to wear our masks and sanitize, and you just be careful. Still, you just can't pick up everybody because you blossom on the road and you have a vehicle. We just have to be careful. God bless you. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, caller. You enjoy your day as well. That last comment about picking up people, I know sometimes I feel bad when I can't pick up passengers, but I'm kind of staying on the safe side. When I pass y'all on the road, I don't know what y'all be saying in all your mind, what she feels she better than people, or it's not that. It's just COVID-19 has me a little, not paranoid, but a little cautious. So that's one of the reasons why I might just toot and pass. But sorry, but blame COVID. You're blaming COVID for most things, it's COVID. A Facebook comment, we all have to believe in ourselves, work with each other. In the end, we are all responsible for ourselves. Keep safe, follow the protocols that the individual businesses have in place. Another Facebooker says they are protecting their staff if you wear your mask. Somebody on Facebook had a hail up for Miss Jeremiah. Hold one moment. Right, somebody on WhatsApp. Love Miss Jeremiah, love her boldness for God. Keep it up, sister. God bless you. Just thought I should pass that on. Another WhatsApper says, COVID is still in the air. The cricket we just entertained recently is an avenue for it. I have a friend who worked during the games and is now infected. So I honestly think we should be very careful about how we go about our daily lives. Still wear your mask. I do. Still on WhatsApp, somebody says, good morning, WhatsApper. All right, let me see if I can read some. The phone isn't ringing, so I'm lies. The phone just started to ring. It's not me. Good morning, caller.
Yes, I want to say thank you to the person. I didn't think people thinking about me because I haven't been on a while. Very regular. But that is my calling, Blossom. I'm an intercessor, and that is my calling. I have to talk about God. I recognize and know what the worth of a soul for God is. I recognize what the worth of a soul. People only talk in because they are alive, and it's when they die they're going to recognize the foolishness they did. They did not receive Christ. But you have to receive Christ to secure your eternal destiny. And this is, I cannot talk about it. I can't keep it silent. There's a little song I say, just can't keep it quiet. It keeps bubbling in my soul. Well, that is me. I have to tell people about Jesus because that I know. 50 years now, I am walking with God. And if I don't know Him as I do, it don't make sense. But I could tell people that Jesus is so good. God protects and delivers people, and they don't even know there are things in my life that God has done for me that I wasn't aware of at the time. It's afterwards now the Spirit of God is walking me through what God did for me. So people trust in the Lord with all your heart. As I said this morning, do not lean on your own understanding, but in all your ways, not some. All your ways acknowledge Him, and He is going to direct your path. You won't make mistakes that you do when you don't have Him.
Amen.
It's not religion. It's a relationship with Jesus. That is the key.
Amen.
So, Blossom, thanks, and God bless you, and God bless that person.
Thank you very much. Enjoy your day. Thank you very much, Ms. Jeremiah. Facebook, somebody says, COVID is still here. It's better to be safe than sorry. We have 2 people in hospital and a number of positive cases and a number of unknown cases. So please be careful. Still on Facebook, I am wondering if the vaccination process is still on, because with the lifting of the mandates, etc., I am sure people will be hesitant to get vaccinated. Yes, it's still on. It's still available at the stadium, at the St. Augustine Medical Center, at Dr. Francis Martin's office, at Dr. Keisha Lowe's office. I'm going off of the schedule that was recently sent out by the ministry. It's still on, but based on the numbers that I'm seeing, it has been on the down low. People are not rushing to get vaccinated as, let's say, 6 months ago. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, my dear.
Good morning, Miss Jacob, and how are you?
I'm fine. Well, I'm more fine as I hear my handsome little blossom. And I'm asking her for my mommy.
Mommy is great. Mommy is good.
Yes, this kind of mask wearing I know that mask wearing since 1998. I went in Jamaica. I could have worn mask long time, you know. You know where I go to see that mask in Jamaica? And I want those people that in restaurants are seeing about the food wear the mask. Don't do without all your mask for me, please. Keep your mask on. Because remember, when you're giving the food to the person, you have to wear your mask. I'm not stopping wearing the mask at all, and nobody can tell me stop it. Joke the making. Because I follow the Almighty Father, and that is my protection. I know my protection since I had 19 years studying my Almighty Father. I could have died because I was a lifesaver. And look at me today. I'm 74, going in 75 years of age. And people say, no, Miss Jacob, you don't have that. Yeah, you have to know how to protect yourself and walk with your Lord. Have the Lord on your side. Anytime you're going, don't forget Daddy above. Daddy above is the best person to go behind. 2018, I was down in hospital again. Just imagine, me cholesterol, you know. Cholesterol, we gone up to 600. And look at Jacob, strong as a lion. Understand?
Okay.
Satan can't touch me. No, Satan can't touch me at all. And please, 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 make sure you all walk with all your mask. Don't leave it, because you don't know what coming. The Bible tell you days to come. You will see signs and wonders, and we don't start to see the wonders yet. Much less. So please, Auntie Blossom, take good care of yourself and take good care of my mom for me, please. Thank you.
I shall do that. Thank you very much, Miss Jacob.
Love you, baby.
Love.
Right.
Thank you very much, Miss Jacob. Yes, stay safe. Please stay safe. Which reminds me, keep walking with your hand sanitizers, by the way. Yeah. Listen, I still going around as though the mandates, some of the restrictions are still in place. I'm going to be honest. The hand sanitizer, look at it by this. Somebody on WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, after 9/11 restrictions remained to the point that travel is not the same. With COVID, why can some travel restrictions remain for our safety? There are some things we just aren't in control of. Living with COVID means living with some restrictions and learning to take personal responsibility for our health and lives. WhatsApp, that thought ran through my mind about maybe 2 weeks ago, when they just announced that they'll be lifting the restrictions. I said 9/11 went how many years ago? And I still have to take off my shoes and my belt when I'm traveling, just in case. COVID, which they say has become endemic to the world, we have to learn to live with it, but we don't have restrictions in place for it. So that thought ran through my mind. WhatsApp, like we're thinking the same, man. Yeah, bless up yourself. Good morning, WhatsApper. WhatsApper know who I'm talking to. All right, still on WhatsApp. Somebody says, it's great to open up the place, but at the same time, we have to remember that COVID is not going anywhere. It will be with us, God knows when. But I think we, the foreigners, should be tested before and when we get home. Ask in the know to protect our loved ones. I am still wearing my mask everywhere I go. Sometimes I am the only one on the job, but safety is very important to me and my family, so let us not be complacent. Do what you need to do to protect yourselves still. And this comment, amen. Still on WhatsApp, somebody says, I would like for the people who choose not to wear their mask to stop harassing those of us who choose to wear ours. Amen. If you see me with my mask, don't ask me nothing, don't tell me to take it off, don't tell me what's stopping the breeze. Low me. I choose to wear it and that's it. You choose to go there free and fanciful. Do what you need to do. I'm doing what I need to do. Bless up yourself, WhatsApp. Good morning, caller.
Good morning again, Blossom.
Morning again.
I don't mean to be rude or anything, but as moderator, sometimes I believe there are times when you need to just give us a little correction. Because you are too beautiful to be handsome. The ladies are beautiful, the men are handsome. And I know you're a theater person, but stop laughing at us and just let us know, with love.
No, man, that's just how she is. We know
what Blossom is all about, but just a little,
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you, baby.
No big deal. She calls me handsome. She calls men beautiful as well. It's no big deal. There's nothing to, take it on and correct and... that's why I leave it, because it's no big deal to me. Okay. Still, let me know. Let me go back by Facebook. Somebody says... Where did I reach on Facebook? Right. Somebody says, where are the isolation of a disease to prove it exists? So this is a pandemic. The media needs to investigate and give proper news. So we still saying it's a pandemic? All right. Still on Facebook, COVID wasn't manufactured here, so we are responsible for our own health. The one that says it's a pandemic says, the person that says COVID is a pandemic also commented, they removed it, meaning the restrictions, they removed the restrictions because it is a fraud. Landline. Good morning, caller.
Sorry for having to come back, but you see, you that joined me, if you wasn't there, I wasn't going to call once. But, somebody made a program this morning and saying that the removal of these restrictions and so is a political ploy. What that you say? And I tend to agree. You remove all the protocol, you open up everything just back to number one. Because election is coming, you remove the laws, the Emergency Powers Act. All these people better be careful, Grenada. Look at your country with a right eye. Go before God and ask God to lead, to guide, and direct. Because where we might be taken, we will not like where we will be going. There are other things I could say, but I cannot say it because it's only from God it comes, and people choose now not to believe what God says. So we have to pray for Grenada. There is a prophecy that came from somebody the other day told me that Grenada will be soon underwater because God have a judgment for this land. We need to repent from government come right down. Every person in Grenada need to make it right with God.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Jeremiah. Let's give somebody else an opportunity. Thank you very much. WhatsApp, somebody says, everyone needs to offer self-care. Obey God, eat healthy, exercise, sleep well, and follow the other health practices. Example, hand washing, sanitizing, and mask wearing when possible. Better safe than sorry. Amen. Better safe than sorry. Morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom.
Good morning, Tanti. How you
I
doing?
was trying whole morning to catch to you, but I cannot get the line. Every time I pick it up, you give me whoop, whoop.
Busy.
But I sit here and waiting because a long time I didn't talk to you.
Right.
And I miss you so much.
Good to be here.
So how are you doing?
I'm well.
God bless you. Good to know that.
Amen.
What do we have this morning now?
This morning we're talking the lifting of the restrictions. What are your thoughts on it?
I think the restrictions should still remain there because there is still a virus in the air. I listen to news every day, and American people say there's another virus coming on again, and they have to take a fourth, how you call it, the thing again?
Vaccine?
Whatever, the vaccine. So people have to understand where them are still. This restriction should be up still, not going off all right through. A little bit of it could be still here. So we have to keep on wearing a mask, do this restriction, do what we have to do. Do not go anywhere in the crowd and make up your mind and feel like, okay, everything is all right. We don't think that everything is all right. The only thing that would be all right is when we have God in us and we talk about Him. And He listens to us and He knows we're facing this virus. And the only cure could help us in it was Jesus to help us. So we just have to stand up with Him and do what He asks of us to do. Love your neighbors, love yourself, but how you're treating them. Don't do things what you shouldn't do. Don't do things what you shouldn't say. You have to understand there is a God. And that God you say, everything you do, you must know what you're doing when you're doing it. When you're talking, know how you're talking and what you're saying. Things like that we have to understand. The virus is still in the air. People have to keep far. You're not too close. And you can wear your mask, yes or no, but yet for all, you have to be very careful in what you do and how you're doing it. So we have to wear the mask and then think about God. He's the only cure for the virus. We don't know if everything is all right yet. What happened in the water is we don't need to just keep a restriction about the virus. We have to keep a restriction with God. Pray every day and ask God to send the cure quickly to save the remainder of the world from the virus. Because so many millions of people die from the virus. Look at here in Grenada. We didn't expect we have all these people dying from viruses. Now we have so many down. And they still talk about it. They say they have so many of them down with it now. But they're ill, some is not ill, but we don't know what's going to happen. So we have to be very careful what we do and how we're doing it. Sanitize, wear your mask. I can wear my mask if I go into town because I have to keep very far from people because me now, I am not that young again. I don't want to just throwing up things on me, a person on my mask and not going to town. And that's keeping far from who will know that will drum me up and they won't think about who they're drumming and what they're not drumming. But sometimes I'm getting weaker every day and the legs are getting out of it. So sometimes I go to town and sometimes I go to town. I have to ask what with my little stick now. So if you see a little old lady in town walk with a stick, not me. I'm not that old because people tell me I have 60 and 70 years. I say, no, I don't have that. I have 85 long years in the world. And God gave me that age to live for Him. And I live for Him every day. I live for God. I pray every second, every minute. I pray for the whole world. The good, the bad, the happy, the sad. Because we are God's children. We don't think about ourselves. Don't think about others. Love your neighbors as you love yourself. Your neighbors need you. Be there for them. Don't turn your back on your neighbors. Neighbors is the best we have in the world.
Amen.
And another thing we want in the world, if you don't have love, you have nothing. Because love is patient and kind. If you don't love, what do we live in the world without love? We cannot live in the world without love. We want love all over, every day, every second. Call your people, talk to them, love them. You wake in the morning, and this Wednesday morning is about love.
Amen.
Morning, neighbor, how are you? How are you doing? Did you have something to eat yet? They don't have anything. You give them something.
Okay.
Love your neighbors as you love yourself.
All right.
Last time you take care of yourself.
Thank you, Tanti. Have a good day.
You have a blessed one. Give mom my love on your house and everybody else.
I shall.
Good to talk to you.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. God bless.
Somebody on Facebook says, on the airlines, you are allowed 15 minutes while you eat to be without your mask. After that, mask has to be on. So you see, it's still mandated on your air. You can't throw it. Somebody replying to the commenter that said they removed the restrictions because COVID is a fraud. Somebody replied, I have friends and family who have died from the virus, so stop. Be more sensitive. Let me go to WhatsApp. Don't worry, Facebook are coming back. Somebody on WhatsApp says, let them stay there and do protect themselves. I had COVID, so people who did not contract it, pray that you don't. It's not nice, and I was fully vaccinated too. That shows I had immunity, but the COVID feeling is terrible. Another WhatsApper says, I feel we should wear our masks sometimes where don't be close to people, where we have to be close to people, and they should still have COVID testing when people coming into the country. I agree, we should still test people who are arriving. Back on Facebook, somebody says, so lifting the protocols is based on expectation and not on reality. So prepare for the unexpected circumstances. Hope there would not be any. Another Facebooker says there's a very troubling issue hurting some of us Grenadians. What happened to our money we invested in shares sold by the NNP government 14 years ago in cable and wireless? Why has this regime done that evil to Grenadians? Off topic, but okay. I started reading before I saw what it was. All right, so let me go back to the landline. Somebody on Facebook in the meantime says, England lifted all restrictions and COVID is getting wild over there. All right, the phone isn't ringing, so I'm reading comments until then. WhatsApp, somebody says, Grenadians are so hypocrite where religion is concerned. The evil that's being... Okay, we're going off topic again. Back on Facebook. Somebody says they are limiting us to our sanitizer in our hand luggage. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm good. How you do?
I'm fine myself.
Nice to know. Go ahead.
I think stopping the mask or getting is a wonderful thing. Because if you listen to the experts, right, they told you that COVID would never go away. It would never go away. So you need to protect yourself, yes. And I think sanitizing your hand is a good thing. You should keep that because people need to wash your hand and keep yourself clean. It's a good thing. But most people are wear the mask. They touch the mask over and over and over. So I don't even see the purpose. Okay, touching their face, touching the mask. The mask is already dirty. Some of them use the same mask 5 and 6 times. It doesn't make any sense. You're using a dirty mask. It doesn't make any sense. So wearing a dirty mask, doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, wearing a mask is good, but come on, wearing a dirty mask doesn't make any sense. So, people are talking about wearing masks and wearing the same dirty mask 3 and 4 times, doesn't make any sense. So, I do think that lifting the restriction is not politics, because throughout the world, caller listen to the news, throughout the world, they're lifting masks, because the world need to get back on track. But COVID is not going anywhere at all. We have to live with that. I'm begging people to understand. Look at the international news. And you have to understand, I look at news from Ukraine, right? Bombs falling each and every place in Ukraine. I look at the interviews with the people that lost their family members. And I never hear one person, I defer to correction, one person call on God, right? One person. Because you have to understand a third world mindset. And don't think I don't believe in God, and I believe in God, I know there is a God. But people don't use God name like it's a puppy show, Everything is a God. People they don't believe in God, but they're just using God name like it's a joke. It's a slang, it's a song. I mean, it's good to call on God and be respectable of God's name. But anyhow, when you wear a mask, when you call on God to wear a mask, you got to stop that. Stop using God name in vain. Stop it.
Thank you very much. You do the same. You make a valid point about the dirty mask. I'm a bit guilty of that. I recall it dawned on me one day. When Blossom and last year washed that mask, in truth, it was about a week. I think that's the most I've ever gone without washing it. So wearing the dirty mask, that you raise a point about that. The masks, especially, I guess that's why a lot of people use the disposable ones, because once you wear it, you throw it and you have to get a new one. But for those of us who have the cloth mask, we get a little complacent. We take it off at the end of the day, put it back the next morning without washing it. So you raise a valid point. The part about the Ukraine, I think it was in the interviews that I've heard and I've been following, it was the president I've heard, most times calling on God. However, on the other side, when a lot of these international companies or international media houses do, news stories, you stick to the succinct points of, how you're feeling and so on and so forth. The extent of the interview that they've done, most of the interview never gets used. So you never know what they're saying in the rest of the interviews that are not used. So you just pick out, the media houses pick out 10, maybe 15 seconds of a whole 3-5 minute interview. So you never know. So I won't necessarily say they're not calling on God, because you just never know what the rest of the interview was about. It's time for us to wind down. Let me take some more comments on the Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, the choice is yours. If you want to wear a mask or don't, the restrictions have been lifted. All right. So good morning, Peter. Another Facebooker says, we have to stop creating fear among the people. We had worse than that in 2018. COVID-19 will go away. Let me see if there are any WhatsApp comments. No WhatsApp comments. So back to Facebook. I don't think I have time for more callers. So let me just wind on the program with Facebookers. Somebody on Facebook says, God and politics do not go together. Ole complained the state of emergency was infringing on your daily lives. The government removed it, just like most countries, and Ole still have a problem. Whenever the election is called, the two parties will benefit to have their rallies, etc. We too bias at times. Jeez, man. All right, I think, okay, 3 more comments on the Facebook that I have time for. They have nothing, this has nothing to do with election. I'm happy they lifted it. Grenada has to follow with the other countries. Air Canada told me because of the restrictions, they're not flying to Grenada. Now the restrictions removed, I hope they may fly sooner. Facebook still, now that restrictions are lifted, good morning Alpha, now that restrictions are lifted, what is the status of workers who were unvaccinated and lost their jobs in the process? Will they be reinstated? Can they take the employers to court? I would like to hear the Attorney General's position on that. That was one of my questions this morning, to be honest. It was yesterday, me and Joseph and I were having a conversation about that. What happened to the people who were quote-unquote forced to get vaccinated? People who have lost their jobs, people who were on the not so good end of this entire COVID ordeal. What happens then? So that was going to be one of my comments this morning. One of my questions to the AG this morning, but I guess she got tied up elsewhere. All right, let me read 2 more comments and then we close off the program. The restrictions wearing masks here in Toronto is removed too, so stop saying it's political. Another comment, I think people are missing a big picture here. What is the rate of death and hospitalization with the virus around the world right now? To me, that is one of the reasons for the lifting. The workplaces still have the must be vaccinated. Okay. Let me start over. The workplaces still have the must be vaccinated protocols to be employed there. And if you do a little more reading, you will see all new job openings say you must be vaccinated. And finally, as we close, over 6 million people have died worldwide from COVID-19. Hundreds of millions have followed protocols and survived. Are people saying don't follow protocols and only trust in God to survive? And this is where we would end the program this morning. Thank you once again, each and every viewer and listener, for participating in this impromptu open line. We were expecting the Attorney General, who did not show on the Zoom, so we opened the phone line. And I'm always happy to hear the thoughts and opinions and views of our listeners and viewers. Thank you very much for participating, whichever platform you use this morning, Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, those of you who called on the line, or those of you who just tuned in and heard from your fellow countrymen and women. Appreciate each and every one of you to the fullest. That's the end of To The Point for this Wednesday, April 6th, 2022. Appreciate you all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Protocols have been lifted, but that does not mean you can't follow your own personal restrictions. To ensure that you continue to stay safe from COVID-19 as best as you can. It is now considered to be endemic, meaning it would be around forever and ever, amen, until further notice. So please be safe, exercise due care and attention. Walk with your masks just in case the business you're going into requires it. Walk with your own hand sanitizer just in case. I see people skipping the hand sanitizer part at the entrance. There's no longer security there to ensure you sanitize outside, so people are skipping that part and going inside it with their hands just waving around. Hello, Miss Smena. Just please be safe. You don't know what your neighbor is doing or not doing, so do what you need to do to stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Mid-morning buzz is up next. I believe it's Joseph. Could be Janelle. Let's see what happens. Bye-bye, everybody. Enjoy your Wednesday.